this is the character we're going to use in our cutout lesson. As you see, he's called a gunslinger. And what we're going to do is something very, very basic, of course, because we just want to talk about how to animate something that has several parts to it. As you see, when I click on it, he has several different sections that make up his body. And this is really the genesis of what cutout animation is all about. You have little parts and you're going to animate them over time. Now, what we have to do when we prepare a character is to make sure, first of all, that everything is in the proper order in the timeline as far as what's going to be on top of what. In other words, you see here we have the revolvers. Well, the revolvers, for them to be on top of his hands, have to be in a layer above his hands. So as you see here, this is his left hand and this is his right hand. So we put the revolver, if I drag this and put it under the right hand, way down here somewhere, you'll see that it goes behind his hand. So you have to make sure that everything is laid out properly in the timeline itself, because this is going to be very helpful when we start to put the hierarchy together. Another thing we have to pay attention to is, let me go ahead and zoom in on his arm so you can see this, is that the parts of the body are cut out in a way so that they smoothly animate, so you don't see any jaggies. Let me give you an example of this. You see this bicep as it goes into the forearm here? Well, if I click on this arm and move it over, you'll notice what I did was I took my eraser and I erased the gray part of the line here so that this gray area would smoothly go on top of this gray area. And I also got rid of some area here. I made this a little rounder. What you don't want to have is harsh lines, because when you animate it, you're going to have a gap. So try to smooth out your artwork. And it takes a little practice in knowing when to smooth things out and how to do it. So don't worry if you don't get it right the first time. But you can use this file, which is included for you, to practice as we animate this character. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start to build a hierarchy of this character, and then we're going to move to testing out each pivot point. And last but not least, we'll do a rough animation of the character, and then we'll fine-tune it, and then we're going to use the function editor to animate the revolvers as they spin around. So once again, this is going to be a pretty simple project, but by the time we're done, you'll have a basis by which you can build your cutout animation knowledge.